Fireworks in play. MiniWarGaming Speed, the cooler, bat rap.
Here we are at part 3 with the Tau starting off, of course, and I don't have any more reserves, so everyone moves up. The aircraft have to move at least 12 inches, so they do move their minimum. Just wanting to move up a little bit here. And the other tank moves off as well. Got my battlesuit commander testing to move through difficult, so he moves back and ends up joining with the fire warriors as the other group moves forward. And now my other fire warriors are just moving through difficult, just need a few inches to get them all in range. And this tank goes and sits on top of the building, which, having reread the rules, because at first we thought I was doing that wrong, and then he just let me get away with it, but then I reread the rules, and it can actually go on top of a battlement, so long as the tank is the only thing on the battlement, and you can actually place the model there. You can't do like a wobbly base or anything like that. Anyway, the aircraft start firing into the Trigons, or the Trigon, and they do a wound to it first off, and then he makes his cover save. The battlesuits shoot their plasmas at it, and they get 2 hits, but no wounds. The fire warriors start shooting into the gaunts in the center there, or on the far left rather, and they're wounding on 2s actually, so they get a large number of wounds, but he does get his cover save for being in that crater. The other plane shoots, misses its marker light, but it fires the rest of its guns, and thankfully the missile pods are twin-linked, so you get lots of hits and 3 ion cannon wounds, or 2 wounds, and it does go down with just enough wounds to kill it. Now the other ion cannon shoots everything it has at the closer Trigon there, hitting with 3 and makes all of his saves because, oh right, because he is buffed toughness right now, so I need 5s to wound with my strength 7 guns. And 6s on the regular rifles, so no wounds from that. And then the other fire warriors, they take a few shots at it, wounding on 6s. They actually get 1, and he fails a save. So we put that Trigon or Turvagon down to 3 wounds left, and then a few other shots from my other vehicles at it, and they do a wound, but he makes his save. And then the railgun, it drops a large blast on the Termagants, which does not scatter, but I rolled poorly for wounding, and he does make 3 out of 4 cover saves, so they're pretty much okay. Then I shoot the las cannon at the Turvagon. I do the wound, but he makes the 5-up cover save. At the end of the turn, my battle suits are moving back once again, just trying to stay at a charge distance while rearranging so that I don't have the weak one up front. Tyranid's turn 3 starts up. He does still have reserves, and the Doom still does not come in, but he does have his other gaunts, which do, and which do. So all of the Tyranid gaunts are in, but as you can see, he's not that happy about the Doom failing twice. At this point, he would have scattered over, but there was a misunderstanding of the rules. He had thought that it does correct, but in fact it doesn't, which it really didn't make a big difference in the game, but for future reference, they do not correct for the edge of the board. And now the Termagants move up 6 inches, so we're moving through cover, because they have moved through cover, but they still want to hold that objective. And the Venom Throat moving around, staying in cover itself while giving everyone nearby cover. And these Termagants move through cover as well, moving pretty quick, getting behind that wall, getting ready to swarm all over these last few fire warriors here. Ah, the rolls were for leadership. That's what they were earlier on there when I saw the 2 white dice. But anyway, the Gaunts move up here, making sure that he can get into charge range and keeping the Venom Throat around just to keep the leadership, or rather keep the cover save. And now that Turvagon, trouble saying which one of these is which, moves in to keep them in their synapse. And the last Turvagon, still able to spawns another clump of Tyranids here, and the other Mycet Explorer of course scatters, but it corrects for almost landing on that terrain / my unit of fire warriors and my commander there, so that Mycet Explorer, that's scattering correctly. And now he attacks with both the spores against my commander and his unit, and the commander passes off as many of these as he can, but he does make a few because he has a 3-up and his Feel No Pain because of the injectors that he has. And the rest of the fire warriors, though, they do suffer for him. And then the Gaunts attack, and they get a couple wounds, and one of them the commander has to take, and the other 2 they actually save. So the fire warriors are okay there. And the other Gaunts fire, they get 1 wound, which does kill another fire warrior, but having the commander there, they won't have to do a leadership check because he had to kill 4 guys. The other Gaunts, they now start shooting at my few surviving fire warriors in the left there, and I do lose 1 first, and then the other guy makes his armor save, and then he shoots him with the other unit, and I fail 1 of them out of the 4, so I do have a few guys left, and now he's shooting it with his Turvagon, and I do fail another save. Now he's shooting. Now the other thing about that objective there was it gave Skyfire to the units that are holding it. So I have to make my saves here because he's trying to shoot me down on regular ballistic skill. So I made one but failed the second one because they do have agile, so they have +1 to their jink. And now my fire warriors, as he tries to, I have to double check my leadership first off, which they did. And now he's trying to charge them, and I do get to stand and shoot, so I kill 2 of them, or 1 of them actually. And then he charges in with a solid 7 inches, so he's right there. And then the other unit, because I'm now engaged, I'm not able to stand and shoot against them. So this unit of Gaunts will move up, and then the other Gaunts, they need not snake eyes, so they make it fine as well. So those fire warriors are now going to be fighting against quite a few more Gaunts than there are fire warriors, and fire warriors are not close combat. This Tervagon, he did need a 7, and he rolled a 6 because his 3 dice take away the lowest. Or rather, take away the highest when assaulting through difficult, so he failed to make it to my tank, which would have been a big deal at this point in the game. And now we've got the fight here between the Fire Warriors and the Gaunts, and they do actually kill one. So one Termagant goes down, now these 2 attacking the other Gaunts. He hits with 1 and does not wound. And then the next initiative step, because he's initiative 1 for assaulting through difficult, his units all move 3 inches to try and get closer, or the models do. So he's going to get pretty much everybody in. So the first group of red guys attacks, they're hitting on 4s, but they have poisoned and rage, or poison and furious charge, so they're getting additional strength and rerolls. And then the rest attack, and he gets a whole bunch of wounds, and then I lose all my fire warriors, and that's that for them. And now we move rolls to see how far they go, and knowing that there's no point in sitting back in the ruins because it doesn't benefit him, he starts moving his unit towards mine just to have more bodies between me and the objectives. And so these Tyranids, they just kind of overrun moving in. And that's how it stands at the end of turn 3. Lots and lots of Gaunts, but he's running out of monstrous creatures. He's only got the Tervagons left. Though I have started to lose units, Fire Warriors are going down, and my planes of Jinx, so they're pretty much going to be leaving the board. Stay tuned for part 4 and see how this battle goes.